Hey everybody, this is Wendy at the Broken Needle Quilt Shop in Bunn, North Carolina. Today I'm going to show you some quick tips using this quilt block that we designed for this year's Scenic Route Shop Hop. First we're going to work on the center portion of the block, which is obviously a 4-patch. With a 1/4 inch seam, we're going to sew these two pieces right sides together. And then these two pieces right sides together. Now we want to take our two patches and press the seams in opposite directions. So this one I'm pressing to the right, and this one I'm going to press to the left. Now we'll be able to lock the seams. We'll line them up here. And you can pin in place if you want, and we're going to use a 1/4 inch seam and sew these together. And then I'm going to show you how to spin your seams so that this patch will lay flat. So here's our 4-patch sewn together, and now I'm going to show you how to spin the seams so that these will lay flat, and you can use this in any patchwork that you're doing. Whether the seams are going clockwise, as these are, you can see this is going clockwise, or if they were going counterclockwise, this is the same method. You just need to make sure they all go in the same direction. This one is going clockwise, so we're going around and we'll push this here, around and push this here. And when you push them oppositely, you can see we get here a little quilt patch right on the back here that looks just like the quilt patch on the front. I'll show you that on the back again. See, here's our patch. On the back, you get a cute little quilt patch that matches the same on the front. So now I'm going to go press this with the iron. Now that we have our patch complete, I'm going to show you how to do a mitered corner border around the patch. This is the mitered corner, and you can use this technique to frame in a quilt block, or you can also use this technique to put a mitered corner border around your entire quilt. Strip, and we're going to make a couple of marks on our patch, a 1/4 inch in, which I've already done here because we're going to sew starting a 1/4 inch in on our patch all the way down, and stopping a 1/4 inch from the end of the patch here. So when we do this, we need to take a couple of stitches, do a back stitch here, and when we get to the end, we'll do another back stitch right here to secure this. So as I said, we're starting a 1/4 inch in to our block already. Take a couple of stitches and you want a back stitch, and then we're going to go forward. We're using a 1/4 inch seam and stop a 1/4 inch away from the end of your block, and make sure you take a couple back stitches to secure it. Scissor off, open this up, and we're going to do the same exact thing with our next strip. See, I've made marks already, a 1/4 inch from the end or start of our block and a 1/4 inch to the end here. we move this out of the way so that we can put this on top of our strip. Obviously the strip is cut bigger to make room. This will all make sense in the end. Again, when I'm putting this strip on, I'm starting a 1/4 inch in. So a couple of stitches, back stitch, sew down, and we're gonna stop a 1/4 inch, one more stitch I think, back stitch, scissor off, and we're gonna move this out of the way so we've got our floppy tails hanging now. We're gonna put on the next strip. Same thing, right sides together. And since this is bigger, I'm not really worried about lining up anything other than making sure I get my 1/4 inch under here. Move that so that I can get to the 1/4 inch mark that I made. So back stitch and sew down. Back stitch. Okay, that was number 3. Now we're going to put on the last one. Trying to see where that mark is. There we go. Couple of stitches, back stitch. There's my mark down here. I think that's one more maybe. Now we have this crazy thing, everything flopping all over the place, and I'm going to show you what we do next to make our miters. So now we have our patch with our floppy little borders hanging everywhere. What we need to do is make an angle, a 45-degree angle. So make this like a triangle. Put our borders together, right sides together like this. If these are in your way, just try to lay them as flat as you can to get this triangular diagonal shape going down here. You want to make sure that these seams here, this seam here is going up. So you may have to get your fingers in the back to make sure it's going up like this. I got it pushed down. Same here. The seam on the back, it's going up. Now you see I have this angle going along and my seams are up. Lay this down here. Any straight edge, just to make sure you got this angle going all the way down. I'm going to take a friction pin or any other marking tool and mark my line here. And we're going to take it over the sewing machine and we'll be sewing right on the line. You see, this is where our seam ended originally. Now we're going to sew down here to complete it. Now we're going to sew right on the line. Open this up and see, we have a mitered corner. Once we take it to the ironing board and iron it flat, we'll have a perfect mitered corner there. Now after you've done that all the way around, you'll have a perfect mitered corner border. Now to finish, to do the last part of the block, I've already made a 4 patch here, and as I showed you before, I've already spun my seams around and I've got the cute little patch in the middle that matches the patch on the front. This will be going like this, and we take our first piece, and I'm going to align them right sides together, but I will have a little dog ear hanging down here. So we're going to use a 1/4 inch seam. And then I'm going to finger press this open. And now I need my second piece. Again, right sides together, matching up the corner here. And I'm going to overlap. You see I'll have a little dog ear overlapping this first piece we put on. And using 1/4 inch seam again. Press it open with my fingers, and there we go. We got our last piece of our block that goes in the corner here. So we take our mitered block that we made. We'll need 3 more pieces here of this, and we're going to sew this right sides together here on the corner using a 1/4 inch seam. Open it up, do it 3 more times, and you're done. Ta-da! Scenic Route Shop Hop block complete.